Okay, I think we are live. Hello, Carrieann.
Hello.
How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you? Happy to be here.
I'm great. I'm so happy you're here. So let's give some people time to find us. We're starting it a little bit earlier than what I had scheduled. I'm learning with all this live stuff that things happen, and I always do this talk at 7, but for some reason I scheduled it for 7:30, and then I moved it up. So anyway, I love the live broadcasts and everything. So how was your day?
My day was really good. Actually, I feel accomplished. I feel like I had a good day today. How about you?
Yeah, me too. A really good morning. Just on point, doing what I need to get done. So that was all really, really good. Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, me too. So okay, everybody. I'm Tracy Cromwell, and I am an integrative nutrition health coach, and that means that when I work with clients, we look at all aspects of life, not just food and fitness, but career, spirituality, relationships, education, joy. Oh my goodness, creativity, all of these things that relate to our lives. And because of that, I've been wanting to really bring on phenomenal speakers that can support you in all the areas of your life. And I met Carrieann, oh goodness, probably 2 months ago, probably now. Yes, and I knew I just had to introduce you to her. And so Carrieann, she is a speaker, an energetic alchemist, which she's going to tell us what that means in a little while. She's a life coach, and she's also the owner and CEO of Shelter with Coaching. So she's a phenomenal woman, and I'm just, again, so happy to have her here with us tonight. So welcome to us.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm so happy to have you here. So, okay, so let's go for it. What is an energetic alchemist?
Good question. So, an alchemist, as we know, is someone who magically turns base metals into gold, right? And so they take lower frequencies and transmute them into higher frequencies. And so, as an energetic alchemist, I do a similar thing. I take your greatest pain and help you to transmute it into your greatest gift. So, those very low energies that maybe are stuck and potentially harming you, and I help you through a 4-step process that I created to transmute those energies and reach for your highest life, reach for your highest potential.
Incredible. I truly believe that we all operate at different energy levels, and however we present ourselves to the world is at different energy levels. And sometimes when life is very hard, or we've had experiences, we can be operating at a very low level, and having the opportunity to raise that and figure out why and how to do that is highly important. So I don't know, would you tell us what the four-step process is? Or is that something that they would need to talk to you about?
Yeah, that would be good to talk about in a session, but I can give you kind of an overview. So I've been a life coach for about 9 years now. It'll be 10 years in the spring. And I've had different iterations of that. Before that, I worked in a yoga studio. Before that, I was a social worker for many years, for about 15 years. 12, 15 years. And it was through that process that I really learned about my sensitivity. And I was faced with just, the depth of pain and in intensity that my clients were going through. And I would feel every bit of it. And I didn't know that I was a little bit different than everybody else. And so, or the majority of the people. And so it wasn't until I kind of hit a wall with that and got really kind of sick and just crying every night and overwhelmed that a colleague of mine gave me the book Highly Sensitive People by Dr. Aaron, and that came out in 96. I think I read it in the early 2000s, like maybe 2002 or something. And that really helped me to change my life and really recognize that I'm a highly sensitive person. And through that process for the past, 15 to 20 years, I've been able to kind of test out what works and what doesn't. And in my early coaching, I was working with teen girls and young women and families who are all sensitive people, especially, whether you are technically a highly sensitive person or not during that age, that, 12 to 20-year-old girl, and boys too, that's a highly sensitive time, right? So I had lots of opportunity to test out different modalities and see what worked and see what didn't, and through that process kind of created this process that I use now. And also between social work and coaching, as I said, I was working in a yoga studio. I was really developing my connections and my spiritual side in a whole new way as well. And so I did a form of energetic work. I did Reiki. I'm a Reiki master as well. I don't really use that in some of that, but called quantum touch. And so I was using that as well. So it's really a process of breathing and aligning and connecting, and using some of the tools that I've been using for years that have really helped me and helped my clients over the years.
Yeah. And I think about it that when you were in that career and you realized that you were highly sensitive, but also, was it somewhat of a concept that maybe you were in the wrong modality of what you were doing as well that was causing some of that? Or
no, I knew that I knew, and I've always known that I'm kind of here to help people. That's
right.
I don't know if you do the Enneagram or follow the Enneagram. I'm a 2, a helper service person, and that's a big part of the work I do as well. I'm really into the Enneagram. So I've always known that was something that was really kind of in my wheelhouse, that was in my purpose. And I just think that the way I went about it was harmful because I didn't really have all the tools that I needed. And yet, and I believe this is true for all of us, when we go through those really trying times, those really dark times, those times that are rich with pain or challenge, and we just feel like we're on the struggle bus, those are the times that are really ripe with, or rich with meaning and transformation and learning and growing. And so I've always been that kind of a person that's just really taken those times, and I've had several of them in my life where they've really been the fires of transformation, and really taken them and grown with it. So that's what I help my clients to do as well.
Yeah, and I hear you on that. I was wondering, and why I asked you that was, I found at one point in my career, because in my prior career I was in construction and I was purchasing manager, residential lumber, and all of this and that, and at one point, I realized I probably had my ladder against the wrong building for me at the time. Maybe things had changed, and it was time for me to do something else, and I was not quite um, mentally ready to do that. And so a lot of strife happened, and, and I was the job, I'd made that decision. And so I became very, very, very stressed. I could feel my inner, I know we were going to talk about that, your inner being I had confliction, and then the housing crisis happened, and I lost my job, and my job was my identity. And so I went through that really, I guess they say, it's the compression, like a diamond, you're just getting squished and you're getting molded. And it's one of the most difficult things to go through. And maybe, so what I'm trying to say to everybody that's watching is that, I guess when we go through these times that are, and right now, and I think you'll speak to that too tonight, is about COVID, and we're all getting compressed and pushed and dealing with things we never thought we would deal with, ever. So how do we get through that, and how can we make that something when we come out the other side, that we have learned something, or we've become, that's okay to be a different person, or whatever that might be. And I know for me, if I hadn't been put through that journey, I was pre-diabetic, distressed, I wasn't sleeping, I was chasing this vision of what I thought I was supposed to be, but inside, this internal mechanism in me was screaming and saying, this is not you. And so when you and I met, I felt like we had this connection on that aspect. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and another big piece of my story that I don't really talk about all that often, but really kind of sets up that trajectory and that journey of kind of growing to wholeness and coming to fullness, is that I was an addict, an alcoholic in my very young life.
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced to alcohol and drugs really early in life, and so by the time I was 21, I was just done. It was like, either do something about this or die. It was a bad situation, and luckily I had those mentors and helpers and just angels in my life, an angel in my life that kind of led me in the right direction and led me to get some help and get recovery and get into 12-step, which was an amazing transformational process. And through that process, like any any process that's based in truth, it works no matter what point in your life or where you are in your life or what challenge is in your life, right? And so then when you're given those really good resources and tools, then when stuff comes up, you can use them. And so many years later, when I was talking with you about the food thing, is like, gosh, this has really become a problem, and it's like I've and that's a little bit trickier because we do have to eat, right?
Darn it.
Yeah. And one of my friends calls it like dancing with the tiger every day. Like it can be a struggle, but luckily for me, I didn't go too far down that path because I already knew what the consequences would be, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but through all of that journey and just, learning, because our bodies change. Our bodies are constantly changing, right? So I think it's like every 7 years, our complete cellular structure is completely different, new. And so, and then as we get older, oh my gosh, a whole bunch of more fun stuff happens, right? That nobody talks about. Like nobody talks about menopause or like all of these changes that our bodies go through. And yet it is just a beautiful part of life, and stressful and struggle and all that kind of stuff. And we're still just as vibrant and sexy and amazing as we were before that, but we don't talk about any of that kind of stuff. But paying attention, the reason I bring all that stuff up is because paying attention to our bodies, I think, is one of the greatest lessons in life, and
Mhm.
that we have this, elegant system, and this, emotional guidance system, and this physical guidance system. And if we pay attention to um, the the signs and the messages that it's trying to tell us, oh my gosh, life goes so much easier. But and if we don't, we get the consequences of that as well. And why it's so important right now is, and I've been talking about this with many, colleagues and people that I work with and clients and stuff, is that through this COVID thing, it seems like, that the voice is louder than ever. Like, we really have to pay attention right now. Whereas, before this whole mess happened, if you skipped a workout, or maybe ate that piece of cake, or whatever, you could kind of get away with it a little bit, and it wasn't the impact of that wasn't so angsty. Where
Mhm.
now I can't get away with any of that. I have to, like, self-care right now,
Mhm.
so vital.
Mhm.
And because any kind of because our systems are just stretched and pushed, like you were talking about, they're just so stretched and pushed right now. um, I went to the chiropractor today, and she was like, oh my. And I was like, I know, it's bad. And it's like, and we were talking about that it's just so incredibly important right now to take care, as much as possible. And so I just
Mhm.
love coming and talking on your show, and all the different places that we can just get the message out
Mhm.
that we're here. You're not alone, and we're here. And and that, please take care of yourself, and let us support you in that.
Yeah, and you brought up a wonderful point in the aspect of, and it was my biggest lesson was I was fine dealing my body whatever I wanted it to deal with, and if it couldn't handle what I ate,
Hmm.
it was my body's fault. And if it wouldn't, just suck it up for the stress or the lack of sleep, it was my body's fault. And if it couldn't handle eating what I was sold on a commercial,
Hmm.
it was my body's fault. And I just didn't have that team orientation, this realization that actually my body is like my number one teammate.
Hmm.
And I was so disconnected with its signals. And so when you brought that up, it's like, okay, so can we hear it? And when we hear it, do we know really what it's saying? And the validation of learning that, being able to hear it and know what then to do, that exercise and learning that skill,
Hmm.
it grounds you, it roots you, it brings down the stress, because all of a sudden, instead of running reactionary,
Hmm.
and you brought up, the fact that you're in recovery and you're doing really well, but we can lean towards things, food,
Hmm.
alcohol,
Hmm.
drugs, whatever, as a reactionary to
Hmm.
handle these things, because we're disconnected
Right.
from why we might feel a certain way, or why and they're saying that now, right now with COVID, we're isolated, we are in a different world. And yeah.
Yeah, and we are craving connection. I mean,
Yeah,
we are hardwired for connection.
we
And
are.
those of us, that are, alone, like I live alone, so the human touch, I mean, it's
Mhm.
the absence of
Mhm.
that is a big deal, right? And so that affects mental health, and so we're craving connection, and because of that, we reach for whatever will ease.
Mhm.
And sometimes the things that we reach for are harmful to us, and that can exacerbate the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we're tribal where we are,
Mhm.
I consider myself an introvert,
Mhm.
but my introvert is actually a little lonely right now.
Mhm.
So that's saying a lot, because like I'm like, if you try and put me in a big networking group,
Yeah.
a lot of people, I am just freaking out. My brain is like, we're in the most traumatic situation
Mhm.
on the planet, and I can last for so long, and then I have to run away, and so for me, I'm laughing now because it's like my introvert's a little lonely. Even the introverts are feeling it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. So I'd written some notes. So what um, are there some things you mentioned? Breath work, and
Yeah, we
yeah,
can do I can do a little meditation with you, a little piece of what I do. We can do a little
yeah,
taste of it
yeah.
if you want, since we were talking about connection. I think it would be
Mhm.
kind of a cool thing to do if you want. Um, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. So let's just take a moment to check in with your body. Feet on the
I'm
floor.
going to interrupt you 1 second. So
Mhm.
anyone watching, participate. So we're going to do an exercise. Okay. So I
Yeah.
want everyone watching to participate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please do.
Yes.
Absolutely. Wherever you are. If
Yep.
you're watching this on the playback, it works then too. Yes,
Yes.
please do.
Okay.
It's a little treat for yourself.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that. Yeah. So, yeah, just close your eyes and get comfy in your seat. Kind of just tune in with your body. And if you can put your feet on the floor, that's ideal. And then just ease into your breath. And as you're kind of doing a body scan, notice if there's any stress or tension holding holding on anywhere, any tinges of pain, and just send it a positive thought, just a smile. If your neck or your back is kind of tweaked, just send it a smile. Send it a nice little positive thought. And then I invite you to deepen your breath, and we'll breathe in to the count of 5, and then hold it to the count of 6, and then exhale to the count of 7. So breathe in, hold, exhale. Breathe in, hold, exhale. Breathe in, hold, exhale. And now imagine that you have a golden thread coming out of the top of your head, and as it kind of gently pulls you up, it allows your spine to align and your shoulders to be released and go down and relax. It allows your chin to come up ever slightly. And if you're holding or clenching your jaw, you can just release it. Allow your tongue to just uh, float, and uh, allow your hands to just rest on your knees or on your body. And follow that golden cord up out of your body. Your body's safe and it's in the exact place where it needs to be. And now you can just put your awareness on your spirit and allow your spirit to fly, float, follow that golden cord above the room that you're in. out the roof of your house or the ceiling of your building. Notice as you're floating above, you can see the stars above you and you can see the town. Maybe you can see the street lamps and um, maybe you're near the water or mountains or trees. Just allow yourself to float up and follow that golden cord. Now you begin to see the entire state or the country that you're in, and you're floating higher and higher. Follow that cord until you're just at the Earth's atmosphere. And you notice this beautiful blue-green ball that you live on. You notice how there are no divisions in the land masses, that even though we think of countries and states and peoples, that it's all one big, beautiful being. And continue to follow that cord up through our galaxy, through the Milky Way. And you can wave to the sun and wave to Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune and continue until you are floating free in infinite space. And you can see the beautiful spiral of the Milky Way. And from this perspective, the earth that we live on is a speck of dust, tinier than a pinhead. So in that speck of dust that's tinier than a pinhead is all your problems and all your joys and everything that you know as home. But it's so tiny from this perspective, you can't even see it. So what does it feel like to be in infinite space out here, beyond Earth, beyond our earthly challenges and stresses, beyond all the identities that we hold dear, whether that's woman or man or brother or sister or mother or father or child or whatever it is. All those, we're far beyond all those names. We are just here in infinite space. So feel what that feels like. And though we might try to name it, it is beyond language, beyond English for certain, beyond. So maybe you see a shape or a color or some other way to kind of describe what infinite feels like. Maybe there's infinite love, infinite wisdom, infinite peace, infinite harmony, infinite abundance. All that you could ever want or need or desire is within this space. And while all of those things may not be tangible, they are beautiful resources that fill our spirit, fill our aura, fill our beings with everything that we could ever possibly need. So just feel into that infinite one more time and allow yourself to remember what this feels like and kind of map this in your consciousness so you can come back here anytime you need to. And breathe in and exhale. And now follow that golden cord back You see the spiral of the swirl of the Milky Way, all the beautiful energies and light. Continue to follow it down into the Milky Way. You can see Jupiter and Saturn and Venus and wave to the sun. And the beautiful blue-green marble that we live on comes into view. And before we go into the Earth's atmosphere, just notice her. Send her that loving, infinite love and peace and harmony that you just connected to. Send that into her land masses and into her waters. That every tree, every shrub, all the food that grows, all the water that circulates, and the air, just send it a beautiful thought of purity and clarity and harmony and grace. And send all the people that thought as well. That just as easily as you connected with those infinite resources, that you can send them out to everyone on the planet. And so continue down, and your country and now your state comes into view. And now you can send that love to all the people in your town, maybe in your household, at your work, the people that you interact with on a daily basis. And of course, send it to yourself. Send all that love and light and peace and harmony and wisdom and abundance into you. It's where it really lives. This is who you truly are. And especially send it into your room and into your home. Maybe you have a sacred space that you'd like to send it to. Send it especially to your bedroom where you rest. And just everything fills with light, with that beautiful diamond golden light. And then follow that cord back down, and now you come into the room where you're sitting and back into your body with your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap, and breathe in. And feel what it feels like to be an expansive, infinite being living in a finite space. So you truly are connected to the infinite. So any cell in your body is completely filled with this diamond golden light and healed and in harmony. Fill every cell with this beautiful healing light. You are completely healed and whole in an instant. And the only thing that keeps you from knowing that is your memory. So if you have any memory of illness or dis-ease, allow this beautiful diamond golden light to heal that as well. Now you can remember who you truly are. And as you tune into your body may have messages for you. Maybe there's a pain here or some holding on or stress or tension wherever, or maybe it feels hungry or thirsty or like you want to run around the block. Just notice. Just notice. And commit to yourself to notice every day, to spend some time with yourself, with your body, with that infinite spirit that you are living in this finite space. And pay attention to that contrast and anything that comes up. And allow yourself to know that you can heal your body at any time, that you are connected with all that you need to live a transformative, beautiful life. And commit to yourself now. I allow myself to be so. You can put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart chakra. And just say to yourself, say out loud, I allow it to be so. And you can also say, I completely and profoundly love and accept myself as I am.
Accept myself as I am right
And
now.
I allow it to be so.
And I allow it to be so.
I allow myself to be well.
I allow myself to be well.
I am that I am.
I am that I am.
And then you can take one last breath in and out. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. You can kind of stretch a little bit.
That was amazing. Thank you.
That was good. That'll send you off to sweet dreams.
Peacefulness. I love the message of that meditation. And number one, we're just releasing. We're seeing things in a bigger spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I really work on with myself and then with my clients too is that I give myself permission to take care of myself right now. And the fact that we are worthy right now. And in that concept of perfectionism and judgmental, our body really needs us to see it for what it is, and we really need to see ourselves for who we are. And it doesn't matter about other people. Mm-hmm. And when we have that true compassion for our body, or true compassion for who we are, I mean, it's it changes everything.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah.
And we start to see the lies of comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we are gifted this amazing life. We are gifted the opportunity to experience it, and in the form that we are in. Mm-hmm. I know when I was pre-diabetic, I was very accusatory towards myself, and but when I realized that my body is always doing its best, it's always doing what it can, and I just have to learn how to drive it. I got to learn how to run it and how to care for it, and getting from the societal number one, if you're stressed, you're weak. If you take care of yourself, you're selfish. Those mindsets have been ingrained into us. Mm-hmm. We can release those.
Yep. Just be done.
Let them go.
Let them go.
Let them go. Yep. Oh my God.
We can actually do that right now. Here, tap right here.
Oh, tapping, yes.
Yes, and repeat after me.
Yeah.
Even though I have been fed.
I have been fed.
Lots of limiting beliefs.
Lots of limiting beliefs.
That are completely untrue.
That are completely untrue.
That have nothing to do with me.
That have nothing to do with me.
That don't serve me in any way.
That don't serve me in any way.
And I've believed them in the past.
And I believed them in the past.
I am completely free.
I am completely free.
To let them all go now.
To let them all go now.
I destroy and uncreate.
I destroy and uncreate.
All limiting beliefs.
All limiting beliefs.
All lies that have been impressed upon me.
all lies that have been impressed upon me.
And I completely withdraw
And I completely withdraw
all power and authority
all power and authority
that I've given to any of these beliefs.
I've given to any of these beliefs.
So I let that all go now.
So I let that all go now.
And I trust my inner self-confidence.
And I trust my inner self-confidence.
I trust my highest self.
I trust my highest self.
I know what's right for me.
I know what's right for me.
And so I trust myself from now on.
And so I trust myself from now on.
And I let all else go.
And I let all else go.
So be it.
So be it.
Let it be done.
Let it be done.
And it is so.
And it is so.
Thank you. And just take a breath. Does that feel like that shifted at all?
It's wonderful. I really hope those that are watching and get to watch the replay, just give yourself the opportunity to participate in this broadcast. Our ego and our brain, one side of our brain that is very much trying to control or thinks it's doing the best it can limit us from releasing things. And so I remember I had my first tapping session probably 5 years ago. And I didn't understand it. I didn't get the idea. One of the best things I could have ever done.
Yeah.
Emotional freedom technique, right?
Yes. Yes. And I do I couple that with affirmations and it just kind of supercharges it.
Yeah.
And our bodies are so smart because these meridian points, they really, and this is your thymus, and that's why we did that, because that's feelings of joy. It's a good. And so it's really our bodies are so smart, and there's so many ways that we can tune into them and balance and heal. So
we have got to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, my dear, how do people get a hold of you? And I can't believe we've been at 42 minutes. How is that possible?
Goodness.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? We will close up. Yes. So my website is shelterwithin.com. Spelled just like it sounds, shelterwithin.com. Shelter Within Coaching on Facebook. And those are the two ways to get a hold of me. And there's check out my website. There's some free stuff there. There's a really nice little free 10 things to help your relationship during COVID.
Perfect.
That'll be nice. And then there's, I think, some affirmations on there as well. There's a little nice meditation. And reach out to me. Reach out to me this week if you can, and book a laser coaching session, because I just love it when I get the opportunity to meet new people and do a quick little laser coaching session. And my packages are super discounted for the December, for the Christmas season. And so I would love to help you out if I can.
So, wonderful. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Well, I'm so bummed that it's already time. And it's been so good to talk to you. And thanks for taking us through the meditation and the EFT and being so open.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And be sure to type in the comments when we're done. Everyone, she's going to type in the comments her website and everything like that. And again, thanks, Carrieann. I really appreciate it.
Many blessings.
You too. Okay, don't you go anywhere, but I'm going to shut the live off here. Hold on. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you Friday for Friday's lunch. Okay, take care.